Why is it that the Western society of today seems to be in a perpetual state of flux and discontent? This further educational video by Dr. Antony D. Miller asks, has the passage of time not been kind to us, or have we lost sight of the values that once guided us? This introduction will be followed by video clips that illustrate the insanity within current Western society. To continue, in the past the West was seen as a beacon of democracy and freedom, a place where individuals could thrive and prosper. It was a society built on the bedrock of meritocracy, where hard work and innovation were rewarded. But has this model of society remained the same? Dr. Antony D. Miller, a professor in Mongolia, contends that today we find ourselves grappling with a myriad of issues. The political landscape has become a battleground of ideologies, where the lines between right and wrong have been blurred. In this ideological war, we seem to have lost sight of the basic principles of governance that were once the cornerstone of our society. Due to societal weakness and not rejecting idle government policy, we are now told what to eat, what to say, and what to accept as the new norm. In addition, to accept the sexual exploitation of our children in their schools. Miller also adds that the mating game too has seen a dramatic shift. Young women do not live in reality in their search for men. In fact, the average male is ignored by average females who seek the top 1% of men only. Sadly, this behavior and female delusions are attributed to modern-day feminism, Miller remarks. It's no coincidence. The resulting rise in single motherhood has had far-reaching implications, not just for the mothers themselves, but also for their children. Studies have shown that boys raised in single-parent households are more likely to engage in criminal activities. Miller remarks that boys need their father's wisdom too. Is this the legacy we want to leave for our future generations? And then there are our universities, once the bastions of free thought and intellectual rigor. Today they seem to be more focused on indoctrination than education. Students are being fed a diet of skewed data and half-truths, led astray by professors with a leftist agenda. In the West, Miller says that students can neither spell, debate, or solve problems ethically. In addition, Miller has observed that students argue with academics without citing empirical examples to defend what they are actually trying to say. The ability to discern fact from fiction, a critical skill in today's information age, seems to be a dying art. The issues discussed here today, from the ideological battles in politics to the changing dynamics of family structure, from the decline of intellectual rigor in universities to the inability of students to distinguish fact from fiction, are all symptoms of a deeper malaise plaguing Western society. If we are to navigate our way out of this quagmire, we need to take a hard look at ourselves and the society we are creating. Dr. Miller asks this pertinent question. Are we building a society that empowers individuals and fosters innovation, or are we sliding into a state of ideological rigidity and intellectual stagnation? This series of clips you're about to see is basically the West at this moment in time. Moreover, Dr. Miller states fervently that we must change this deliberately manufactured, deranged form of social dynamic if we are going to continue as a species. The choice, as always, is ours to make. Has Western society gone mad? Or is it in its essence become sad and embarrassing to watch? Are you ready to be informed? So keep watching.
Excuse me, miss. I don't feel comfortable sitting here. There's a lesbian next to me, so I'm leaving. I don't feel comfortable sitting here. There's a lesbian next to me, so I'm leaving. I didn't sign up for this shit. I'm out.
People can't seem to grasp the fact that I'm a lesbian.
First of all, you are a dude. But if you identify as a lesbian, it means you like girls. So you are not... I am very confused.
Quickly, so I misunderstand. Are we saying that 2 + 2, if you say it's 4, that's racist? I mean, that sounds like we may be mischaracterizing it. What, if you can quickly sum it up?
No, that's not mischaracterizing it at all. Math is basically racist under this ideology because it says there is no such thing as an objective reality. So 4 might not be the right number. 2 + 2 might actually equal 5.
Transgender boys who might not have their own money to go buy tampons, if they're provided free in the bathroom, it's a huge plus.
Men do not menstruate. Only women menstruate. Now, you can call yourself
Cis men
whatever you
don't
want.
menstruate, but trans men do menstruate.
No,
Same
they
as
don't.
non-binary people.
Only women.
Menstruating is not exclusive
Yes,
to
it
cis
is.
women. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
So explain to me as to why my body menstruated at
if
some
your
point
chromosomes are XX and you're young, you menstruate. If you're XY, you don't.
Correct, but what about trans men and non-binary?
They're
We're
not men.
excluding a whole group of
They're
people
women
that
dressed
menstruate.
as men. You're not a man. You can pretend to be a man, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Live your life. Tell me what a man is.
Well, what's a man to you? You define a man for me.
You have chromosomes that are X and Y. That's what a man is.
So why are we just looking at the science of this as an
The
example?
science.
When we've learned sex and gender identity are they're completely different things.
They're not completely different.
They are completely different.
Completely different words.
And sex is what you're born with, the sexual reproductive organs you have. Gender is what you identify with. They're completely
Well, I don't
different
accept that
things.
distinction. You have to argue for it. You're just giving a conclusion. You're just making it up.
Welcome class. So today we welcome Dylan. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and make Dylan feel real welcome. And we're gonna put this up. I will explain in a minute why I am putting this up. Alright. Dylan goes by they and them. Okay? So we are gonna start incorporating to make they and them feel special.
The language we use matters. Being specific is important. If you care about the truth. I refuse to participate. I'm not adopting your language. I'm not respecting your preferences. You don't own reality. You don't own grammar. You don't own definitions. You're not important enough to provide me with an instruction manual on how to talk to you. Are you kidding? How important do you have to think you are?
I am starting a new job on Monday, and it's a teaching job. So the kids are going to call me either Mr. or Mrs. Jamie. It depends on what I want. I did not binary being. I don't know what to pick. I feel like Mrs. would be easier for the kids, but Mr. makes me feel better. But I also kind of want to try mix, but I don't know if the kids can do that. I don't. And then what do I do when they ask me if I'm a boy or a girl? I'm not. I don't know. It's young kids. My class is gonna be 4-year-olds.
Claims she's not a boy or girl. She's teaching 4-year-olds. Good luck, kids.
You complained about a man in the women's locker room and you were punished?
Correct. I made a social media post that referred to the male student as a male, and I was punished because I misgendered him.
You lost your job or you were suspended without pay from your job?
Correct, as the soccer coach.
So you were the creep in this. I have to ask, did other employees at the school take you aside and say we're on your side? Did anyone protest your suspension?
None of the other employees did. Other community members have supported me, though, privately.
It's beyond.
What are you? I'm a cisgendered man.
What does that mean?
So that means if you were, so you were born a woman, and therefore you still identify as a woman, so you're a cisgendered woman, I would say.
And that's because of my physical
That's because
femaleness.
you identify with how you...
What am I?
Well, I assume you're a cisgendered...
I'm not a cis anything.
If I may assume...
I'm not a cis anything.
Well,
I'm just a man.
Well, no, but you're a cisgendered man.
No, I'm not a cisgendered anything.
But hang on.
What does cis mean?
Well, that means that you were born the way that you identify.
Oh, I'm just born a man.
But someone who transitions...
Why are you insisting on calling me something I'm not? What's interesting is, you want me to respect all those 100 genders. How you have zero respect for my right to identify myself in any way I see fit. So, no.
The Bible is definitely against gay people or gay marriage. Which one? I don't know.
It says that homosexuality is abnormal. And I mean, common sense thing. You don't even need the Bible to tell you that.
Okay.
You know, you have two guys going at it from behind. You know something's wrong, right?
Well, I suppose it depends on your perspective, isn't it?
I mean,
Okay,
you don't think
apparently you think
anything.
so.
You don't think anything wrong with that?
be. I think it happens in nature all the time. It happens with penguins. It happens with guys. It happens with women. Who cares?
So you think that it's normal that two guys go at it from behind?
It depends on your definition of normal. It happens in the
No,
normal
I'm asking
world,
you.
so absolutely, yes.
You think that's normal?
I think it's perfectly.
Would you ever do that?
I wouldn't, but that doesn't mean
If
it's not normal.
If it's normal, why would you do it?
Because it's not my thing, Jesse.
Because it's not normal.
I don't think college is a scam. So what is the national graduation rate? I mean, you tell me. 59%.
Do you agree with the notion that an unborn baby is a parasite?
Yes. It's a parasitic.
What class are you taking that's telling you that?
Literally pathophysiology.
It's telling you that a baby is a parasite.
It acts as a parasitic animal.
It doesn't. Do you know the definition of a parasite?
Yes, explain it to me.
What is the definition of a parasite?
A parasite is something that lives inside of a host that has to feed off of that host.
It kills it. It's not a symbiotic relationship.
Necessarily.
Yes, that's the definition of a parasite.
Sorry for all the gay people in Palestine being bombed by Israel.
You're supporting a regime that throws gay people off buildings.
I'm not supporting any regime.
You have a Palestinian flag around your neck.
What?
I don't think feminists are as evil as we paint them to be. I think they have good intentions, most do at least, but I think it turned into something very damaging. Because it affected the natural dynamic between a man and a woman, not only in relationships, but societally. I think the patriarchy is good because men are meant to lead, and so they did a decent job leading. So I think women are more fulfilled when they have kids, and they don't have to work. Generally, there might be an exception to the rule, but feminism is pushing women to work. It's damaging. Yada yada.
No, I'm like, seriously, what do women bring in 2022 that is special? Nothing. Do most women have a cookbook? Do most women really know how to cater to a man? No. Are most women virgins on their wedding day? No. So what do most women bring in 2022 that is special?
You want to be married?
Absolutely. I've never been
Okay,
married.
hold on. Let's just answer these questions. You're a mother of 4, and how many different fathers?
4.
Holy shit! How many times have you been married?
None.
That ain't gonna work.
I've been proposed to 3 times. But
That ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Yeah, I've never accepted.
No. What I'm saying is not gonna work. There's no marriage to a woman who has 4 kids by 4 different men who's never been married. What guy wants to follow that?
If the father's not in the home, the boy will find the father in the streets. Yeah. I saw it in my generation and every generation before me and everyone since. It starts in the home. You know, if the streets raise you, then the judge becomes your mother and, you know, and prison becomes your home.
Automatically wrong.
Okay. So you expect me to give my all and give my best?
I expect you to appreciate the men that built the world around you that allow you to be able to live in a first world country. The entitlement you guys have. So entitled. In college today, the average man sitting in college with a woman knows that woman wants a man making 6 figures. They can't even date because today young women don't want men who are making average money. The men you typically date are older and have money.
Yeah.
You want everything. You don't know what the world costs. And that is why most women cannot respect men. Gentlemen, act accordingly.
I wish boys would think. Like, just think for a second.
We do. That's why you have a ceiling fan above it. Because a man thought about it and invented it. And these LED strip lights, a man thought of that. Oh, and your AC unit, a man thought of that. Your Wolverine nails, a man thought of that too. Come to think of it, a man thought of everything that you use on a daily basis. Dang, messed up.
I'm disrespecting my husband because I'm friends with a man?
But I think that it's not that you're friends with a man.
The point is you're not listening to him. Like, again, love to men is respect. It's saying, you know what, I might not agree with this, but I respect your judgment, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to do what you say. But, like, men don't want an argumentative woman.
You're saying that the high-quality men are gone after 30 for a woman.
I'm saying your chances of finding a man that's going to take you seriously with your sexual past and your background at your age drops off precipitously
Right,
after you're 30 years old.
After 30 years old, and I want to, like, why is that though?
Because men and women are not the same.
Modern men want a traditional woman, but they don't want to be a traditional man. So you want a woman to come home from a job, clean, cook, do the laundry, take care of the kids, and you guys are both going to work. Do you see how that don't make sense?
No, it does make sense. And yes, I do want you to do that.
So you're telling me that a woman has to go work like a man every day, and a man goes to work, and he's tired when he gets home. A woman's not tired. She has to clean, cook, do the dishes, do the laundry. Are you kidding me?
First of all, yelling doesn't mean you're winning an argument. It's a sign of low intelligence. Your point is invalid, and you sound like the rest of these unwedded women talking about, I'm gonna go to work like you. Yeah, you want me to cook, clean. If that was the case, so what? Yes, you're gonna cook, clean, do this and do that. And guess what? He taking the trash out, he fixing the house, he making sure this. Y'all have different responsibilities and different roles. A lot of modern day women don't even know that they're not fit to be a wife.
And you think I'm not fit to be a wife?
But I just think that if she is the most beautiful girl in the world, but she is available and accessible to lots of men, and she's disloyal to you, she loses her value because she makes you look like an idiot and she makes herself look accessible. So without that loyalty factor, and loyalty doesn't just mean she's not sleeping with other men, loyalty also means she's not exposing herself to other men.
So why can't we cheat too?
First of all, masculine women, if 20 women touch this cup, I could easily clean it off. But if 20 men dip their hand in it, the water is going to be nasty and I don't want it anymore. That's why women can't cheat.
A woman should never ask a man to provide more than he can provide. That's wrong. A woman should always live within the man's means. And if the man has the means, great. If he doesn't, don't ask for it.
Yeah.
And if you want more, work together to build it up.
We're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new accounting is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy.
A cashless society is coming. This will be part of the beast system told to us in Revelation 13:16-17. This will eventually give the government full control of you. In 2020, when they forced us to stay home for months and to wear masks and get vaccinated, that was only the start for what is coming. With the digital currency, the government will have the power to deactivate your account. This will be linked to the mark of the beast. Whoever does not get the mark won't be able to buy or sell, as the Bible says. You can clearly see how the beast system is slowly being introduced.
Now, in the past, many tyrants and governments wanted to do it, but nobody understood biology well enough. And nobody had enough computing power and data to hack millions of people. Neither the Gestapo nor the KGB could do it. But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people. We humans should get used to the idea that we are no longer mysterious souls. We are now hackable animals. Data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself.
Watch this.
Authentication is irritating. This is a developmental system made by MC10, and it has an antenna and some sensors embedded in it. And what we plan to do is work with them to advance a tattoo that could be used for authentication. It may be true that 10 to 20-year-olds don't want to wear a watch on their wrist, but you can be sure that they'll be far more interested in wearing an electronic tattoo only to piss off their parents. I take a vitamin every morning. What if I could take vitamin authentication?
What?
This pill has a small chip inside of it with a switch, and it creates an 18-bit ECG-like signal in your body, and essentially your entire body becomes your authentication token.
In China, for example, if a traffic camera catches you jaywalking in China, the digital ID system has you. It has your blood now, it has your genetic code, it has your photograph. It can identify how you walk, so even if you can't see a face, you can be picked up by gait. It will convict you of jaywalking and take money out of your bank account with no intermediating judiciary at all, and show a picture of you to the people in the neighborhood so they know that you have jaywalked, and reduce your social credit score. And if your social credit score falls below a certain level, then you can't buy drinks from a vending machine. You can't play video games. You can't go on a train. You can't get out of your 15-minute city. All that's already in place in China.
I wonder if you'll permit me to gallop through the working day of the average Englishman. He wakes up and he turns on his taxed telly to get the news. He leaves his heavily taxed house, gets in his heavily taxed car. He fills it with heavily taxed diesel. He gets to work to earn an income which, after income tax, employer and employee national insurance, a third of his income has disappeared. A third. He drives home and stops on the high street for a few articles for the house. His purchases are taxed at 20%. He calls in for a pint, over 2/3 of the cost of which goes in tax. He dreams of a family holiday abroad, but he can't afford the airport tax. He longs for the day that he can retire, but the politicians won't let him go. We must steal his savings, mustn't we? The financial transaction tax. The poor sap doesn't even know we've nicked it.
America's food is banned in 30 countries. The food is killing people. Oh yeah, it's definitely killing people. If somebody were to buy a bag of Lay's potato chips in Europe and look at the ingredients, they're totally different. They will make the healthier version for another country. There's over 10,000 food chemicals that are allowed in the American population or food system that aren't allowed in other countries. It makes it easier for food companies, gives them longer shelf life. So anytime we lobby for healthier food choices in our school systems, in our neighborhood, food industry is going right behind them with billions and millions of dollars saying, no, we can't do that.
Why, when I was working for Coke, did the American Diabetes Association accept money from Coke? These medical groups are actually accepting money from processed food companies. Every hospital in America you walk into has a soda machine. There's actually sponsorships and connections between hospitals and medical groups and foods. The American Diabetes Association, when diabetes has gone up 8 times in a generation, isn't saying we should stop drinking liquid sugar, diabetes water. They're actually taking money from Coke and recommending small cans of Coke as a good move for diabetics. This is the problem, that we are getting sick for simple reasons. And we have a medical system that is not only silent, it's actually encouraging us not to really realize the centrality of our poison food system to why we're getting sick. Wow. Because every single institution that touches our health, they make money when we're sicker for longer periods of time, and they lose money when we're healthy.
Did you know that Vladimir Putin, the Russian's president, he's passed a law that any Russian who grows or sells genetically modified foods is to be considered a terrorist. Whew. He's even giving land away to Russians who will grow food organically, non-GMO. You put his name and GMO in Google that and you'll read the spiel. He says, we Russians look across at the West, over-vaccinated, over-medicated, overfed, sitting in front of boxes every night in their lounge rooms, eating food that has no nutrients, he said, and we know it's weakening the West. Is he right? Absolutely right.
The state of Israel is actually connected to America in a very arcane and secret way. So they are, the state of Israel is connected to the American federal system. It's very interesting. That's why America sends billions and billions and billions of dollars. All the valuable things in the world goes through Jerusalem. That's why it's the holy city. We know that Israel is very important because of strategically where it sits on the trade routes to control the flow of oil, drugs, diamond, and lot of drugs in Israel, going through Israel. And diamonds, gold, money, etc. But you've got to give the people who are going to go over there and lose their lives and give their sons in war, you've got to give them a reason. So we tell them that it's religious. It's the Lord's chosen people, the Lord's people. And the Lord himself has chosen Israel. And we give them a life. You'd be surprised what Americans love. They love that kind of stuff. And so we tell them, it's the Lord's will. And the Lord Jesus was there, and all the great prophets and all of that. And so we have to protect that little country, Israel, because it's the Lord's will.
First things first, no country on earth is free. Not one. Next, which country has the most people in prison? America. Which country has the highest percentage of its population in prison in history? America. Which country has the most laws? I don't know. America. So when you talk about the land of the free, what they're actually saying is, we've built a society based on freedom. Of course there is no freedom, because true freedom is anarchy. So I'm not even advocating. You look at Russia. All Russians respect Russia. They all respect the Russian flag. They respect the Russian identity. You can be Christian, you can be Muslim, but we are Russians. And when they're attacked externally, they unify as a Russian people. America doesn't have that. Half America hates the flag. They've turned the colors against each other. They've turned the religions against each other. They've turned the political parties against each other. Nothing unifies America besides the illusion of freedom. So, when you have the most controlled nation on earth, with the most laws and the most people in jail, and the only thing that's preventing absolute anarchy and unifying the people is the illusion of freedom, how do you do that? What you do is you make sure that nobody's free to do anything important, like speak about important issues, but you allow people to be free to do dumb shit.
If any confirmation was ever needed that the United Nations Security Council is dysfunctional, undemocratic, non-inclusive, unrepresentative, and therefore incapable of delivering meaningful progress in our world as presently constituted, the rampant impunity of its actors on global scene settles that matter.
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
What do you do?
That's the great question. What is the long-term effect of too much information? One of the effects is the need to be first, not even to be true anymore. So what a responsibility you all have to tell the truth, not just to be first, but to tell the truth. We live in a society now where it's just first. Who cares? Get it out there. We don't care who it hurts. We don't care who we destroy. We don't care if it's true. Just say it, sell it. Anything you practice, you'll get good at, including BS.